What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the inaugural, well, I guess it's kind of not really inaugural, but it's the first official episode of the Ghost and Clover podcast. And you guys will be doing this off and on kind of intermittently for years. But we're doing this as a real podcast, an official podcast, and all of that stuff. We are powered by our good friends over at EAA. Guys, make sure you go check out all their great products. Thank you for supporting my channel, Clover's channel, and please go continue to support our sponsors as well, including EAA. My name is Trey, Ghost Tactical, for those that are not familiar out there, and we are joined by our good buddy Chris from CloverTac. What's up, homie?
Hey, man, good to be here. Looking
forward
to it.
Yeah, this has kind of been one of those things where it's been a few months in the making. We started this, talk about this like officially back in like, I don't know, around Thanksgiving, maybe early December, about, hey, let's actually do this,
Yeah, we've done it off and on, but we've never had, and this is something I guess maybe you can go into kind of right here from the jump before we really get things kicked off. But we've got structure. We've got structure now. So it's not going to be your typical Ghost and Clover. It will be moving forward, but really not like the last times we've done it, because it will be somewhat structured.
I mean, do we want to call it structure? Nothing that we do. Yeah, nothing that we actually do is structured. But no, this actually is going to have a pre-planned flow, maybe.
The flow is pre-planned.
Yeah.
But that's what's interesting. The topics are not. See?
This is true. So let's kind of talk about that real quick. And what we want to do is something different. And we know that obviously the vast majority of our audience is going to be gun people. And that's awesome. Are we going to talk guns? Absolutely, because that's part of our life and all that. But we also enjoy a lot of different things in our lives. That said, so kind of what we're going to do is we're going to break it into like 3 segments of the show. The first segment was going to be a topic from one of us. And the second segment's going to be, the other one will have a topic to talk about.
And we don't know those ahead of time, too.
That's what I'm saying. We don't tell each other what the topics are. So we're reacting to this just like you are. So Clover's going to have the first topic tonight. It could be about, like, My Little Pony. I mean, for all, there's no telling. But we're going to talk about that for, 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll do my topic. And the cool one, though, is Chris is we're going to have our third segment. It's going to be picked by you guys, the random topic out there by the chat. So we'll give you guys time at that point to say, hey, we're going to give it a few minutes. You guys put some topics out there, and we'll kind of do like a random selector to see who gets to do it.
Well, see, I've already got the random selector up. So the way that I think is just all you got to do is participate out there in the chat.
Yeah.
Participate in the chat. You've got a shot to pick the random topic.
And if we choose your name, then you get to throw it out there in the chat. Well, we get to talk about it for the next 10 minutes or so, and that'll be interesting. Assuming that it's something that
we reserve the right to not talk about certain things. I mean, we want this channel because, by the way, this is something to mention. This is going to be on, of course, live on its separate channel, which is Ghost and Clover. Go check that one out if you're not already. But the recording that we're doing here is also on the Ghost Tactical and the CloverTac channel. Now, if you are catching this in replay, you may have noticed, and those live, it doesn't matter, but you may notice this is not in replay on either of our channels. The only way to get the video replay is going to be on that Ghost and Clover channel. Or in the audio podcast world somewhere. That will be available all over the place on both of our podcast platforms.
Yeah, so if you're following either one of our podcast feeds on whatever podcast platform you listen to, it will show up in both of ours. So, and give us some love out there. Like, we want to know, like, we think this is going to be fun. We think it's going to be an interesting podcast. It's going to bring maybe a little different side that a lot of people may get to know more about who we are besides the gun side of things. Be a laid back, fun environment. But give us some feedback. Leave some comments out there, especially on the podcast side. Let us know what you think of the podcast. If you have any topics that you might think that would be cool to discuss. We have a list of stuff that we want to take, but obviously if there's suggestions out there that we think would be fun, absolutely go ahead and throw in the comments section. And if you're out there in the podcast world, if you like what we're hearing, go ahead and try to give us a little 5-star rating or something on the podcast forums.
Yep, that's it.
Now, Snob's already thrown one out there. He says, "Can you guys talk about sketchy memes some of us received in the past few months?" No.
No.
There is a group of us that are in a big group chat, and it's dicey. Basically, what we've told people is if we ever get found out, two things are probably going to happen. One, we're going to go to hell. Two, we probably get canceled by everyone. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
The first rule of group chat, Snob, is we don't talk about group chat. So
yeah, it's kind of like the Fight Club, bro. Come on, you know
on.
that. You know that.
Right.
Like I said, this podcast is powered by our good friends over at EAA, and like I said, you guys are probably very familiar in the firearms world of EAA. Like I said, thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting CloverTac. But we're asking, please, if you have a chance, go support our sponsors as well.
Absolutely.
Do we want to jump in right now, or do we want to? Let's do it. All right. So Clover is going to have the first topic for the night, and I have no idea. So I'm hearing it for the first time as well.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Start the clock.
15 minutes. Start the clock.
About the 21-minute mark. We'll have to shut it down by then, but
sure.
Just to keep things going. But no, I wanted to talk about something that honestly, I mean, talking about the group chat, great timing out there, Snob. That I've back and forth with that in private conversations and other things, but haven't really discussed it, out in public with other people. And I want to talk shoes, man.
Shoes.
SHOT Show came. I had a blowout.
Yeah, you did.
Had to go to the Skechers store. Buy one get one sale was going. Had not had a colorful.
Now, let's be fair. It took you an hour and 45 minutes to pick out that one pair of shoes of Skechers.
It did. Yeah, it didn't take me long to pick out the normal pair, but the fancy pair, right? I had to really, and I was very happy with my decision. So the time paid off. But you
went a little outside of your normal comfort zone, didn't you?
Well, I went not just outside of the comfort zone, but I went out to like teenage years because here's the backstory on that. Like, growing up, I'm not kidding. I mean, up until I had a job, we pretty much shopped at Goodwill. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't have access to most of the sneakers that other kids had, right? And not necessarily sneakers, but shoes in general, right? And so, once I got up and got a job, I was able to afford, some Nike, some Reeboks, things of that nature, right?
Mostly Nike.
And yeah, true. But mostly Nike and Reebok back then.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And so, the pump, of course, come out in '89.
Oh, yeah.
I had one of the first. Yeah, I think I had the first pair of pumps that ever came out, and had some, as we've talked about before, had some 94, I think they were Barclays, some Nikes,
nice,
and everything. But anyway, I hadn't had a fancy pair of shoes. I got, had some shoes there in teenage years. Of course, got married, went into dealing with the workforce, and wore steel toe boots a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
And so just kind of always did that, and then kind of moved into more of a hiking shoe, usually from Skechers. Right, and been wearing those for years and years and years, and I was like, I want to go. I want to do something fun. Like I want to get back and have some fun with things, right?
Absolutely.
And so, found that pair, and man, there's some stuff. I've already picked up some things from some Skechers for the NRA show. Really looking forward to that. But I've got back into that game a bit with paying attention with some of the colors. I'm not a big sports guy, modern sports. I do know some of the players, so I've been looking at, some of the Steph Curry. His shoes are Under Armour, so I've been looking at those. If you're out there and you want a really cool looking pair of shoes, man, check out the. And there's several generations of them, obviously, but check out the Steph Curry Under Armour, what they call the Northern Lights. Man, those are freaking cool. There's all different kind of colors. They literally look like the Northern Lights. So, and then there's the, I don't know if you've seen them or not, but the Shack Attack pumps are pretty sweet from Reebok.
No, I haven't seen those. No.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Now the Shack Gnosis, a little bit over the top for me on the Shack Gnosis, but the Shack Attack pumps from Reebok, pretty cool. So I've been looking at, have stuck with Skechers for now because that's what I've been wearing and I'm comfortable with. But I'm going to branch out eventually into some other things. I can't go too overboard because I don't go anywhere like where I'm at now. The least little bit of rain and you're knee deep in red mud. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
yeah. No, sure.
even if I wore them into town on a very dry day, if it rained before I got back, I'd have to take them off and walk barefoot in the mud to get in the house because there's no way I'm going to wear those. So except for going to shows, events and things like that, there's really no place to wear them. But why not? I mean, you only live once, right?
This is true. For me, I grew up, I played like 7 different sports.
Hmm.
And sometimes like on a Saturday, sometimes I had 3 games in 3 different sports. So I grew up playing a lot of sports. So I was in shoes all the time. Obviously, growing up, the Jordans were awesome.
Hmm.
Love the Jordans. We all used to wait for the new Jordans to come out and all of that. Love the Jordans. I was a big Chuck Taylor fan.
Oh,
Love me some
Converse
Chuck
in the '80s,
Taylors.
right?
Yeah,
Like Converse in the '80s ruled. I mean, let's be
yeah.
honest.
And I was one of those guys back in like the middle school days. I don't know, anywhere else, but we did a lot where like we would go and get like 2 or 3 different pair and like match up. Like one foot would be red, the other one would be blue, or one would be yellow, or we'd have 2 different color Chucks on. Yeah, we were weird like that in Plano, but that's how we rolled.
That's
We were
come
we, we,
back.
we were we
That's
were
come
get we were
back.
we were thug, dude. We were gangster back then,
That has come back. I've noticed it looking at shoes. That I've seen, and again, I don't follow modern sports,
Yeah,
but there's literal signature shoes for players that are like it's not 2 colors that they mixed and matched, but literally that pair of shoes does not come in the same color per shoe. The left and the
yeah,
right are
for
2 different
sure.
colors, which is crazy. I've noticed that's a trend that's come back.
I wish it wouldn't, but no, I understand. I love the Jordans. I wore a lot of Chuck Taylors. I wore a lot of Vans. I love Vans. I still love Vans. Used to wear some of the old Converse, which the old Converse kind of look like what people now like the Nike Air Ones, but like the old white Adidas with like the
Hmm.
3
Oh
stripes.
yeah.
Used to love those.
Yep.
But yeah, I wore a lot of like athletic shoes, whether I was playing sports or not. I loved them. As you get older, you kind of have to dress to what you're doing, and my job, I wear like dress shoes and slacks and stuff. But and then my other part of the life where I'm wearing my cargo pants and hoodies a lot. I found Skechers, not found. I found them, but I became introduced to Skechers. I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and found a pair, and I love them so much that um, I didn't know if they were going to continue to make them. So I found another pair online for pretty cheap that were new in the box. And they're still sitting over here in the new in the box. Whenever this first pair blows out, I've got a second pair that I love these things. But for NRAM, I'm stepping up the shoe game. I'm kind of going like a little
Nice.
70s and 80s vibe this year for NRAM.
Okay.
People will be surprised to kind of see. Um, if you guys are out there and you're going to be NRAM, you'll know I have a couple pairs of shoes that I'm bringing to NRAM that you guys will probably lose your shit on. Be kind of fun, but yeah, I won't go into them real deep in this one, but yeah, I'm a shoe guy. I've got a ton of shoes. So let me ask you this. I know this is your topic, and you're supposed to be driving this
Yeah, you're
train, but
fine. Yeah.
um, back as a kid, like do you remember like your favorite pair of shoes you ever had? Like, man, I wish they made those still. I'd buy a 10 pair of them. And like, what was that shoe that was your favorite pair you ever had?
I really like those Barclays, man. You've heard me talk
Yeah,
about those a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
So those nine, I think they were '94 CBs. And don't give me the line on the, I'm new into the game, and I never was big into the shoe game to start with, right? So as I said, I was kind of into it there for maybe 5 or 6 years as a working age teenager, and
yeah,
then family life
sure.
hit. That was out the window, and kind of only recently kind of been looking around and picking back up on it. So it's been so many years that I don't actually remember. But yeah, I did. Like I said, I wore a lot of there for many, many years, decades even. Wore a lot of steel-toed boots like Red Wings and
Right, sure. Yeah,
Wolverine, things like that. And I moved into. I got to where like I wanted some sneakers, and at the time, my wife, of course, she's a nurse, and so she goes through shoes like people go through toilet paper, just about like,
yeah,
but just being on her feet all the time, and I mean, she's hard on shoes, even high dollar shoes, right? And And what the Hokas. I think you've got a pair. You said of
Oh, I
those, or maybe
love
your daughter
Hocus.
wears
Oh,
those or
I
something.
love. My daughter
Some of
does.
those, and
She's actually the one that kind of
yeah.
taught me about them because when she was
Um,
doing the nursing thing. Love Hocus,
she
man.
paid good money for some one time. I think they were called Z coils or something, and they literally
Right.
look like literally look like the front. What am I thinking? The front spring off of a car.
Yeah.
You know, two of those in the back. I mean, it was really they were really really weird,
Yeah.
but at the time I think she was wearing New Balance. I think and New Balance had kind of just sort of came on the scene and got popular, and so I got into some New Balance, and I wasn't impressed with. And everybody wears shoes differently. If you're talking about wearing them
Sure.
every
Yeah.
day, when we're talking about the fancy shoes and stuff, those are events, special occasions. You're not really going to wear those out. But if you're talking about something you wear consistently and constantly, you're going to put wear on them. And everybody wears shoes differently according to their feet, how they walk, and of course weight
Yeah.
and all kinds of different things play a factor. And for me, and that's what I said. I don't want to speak ill on New Balance. If anybody out there is a New Balance fan, go for it. But for me, New Balance just does not hold up. Like they
Yeah.
were horrible. They wouldn't hold up. And I moved to Skechers, and Skechers are comfortable. And I had a pair of Sketcher Afterburners, and I've still got. That's what I bought when I bought the fancy ones in Vegas that I haven't even tried. I'm put back on except to try them on in Vegas. I haven't even wore those.
Oh, that's right. Because you got like buy one get one or something like that,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
forgot about
so
that.
I bought they were Afterburner 2.0s. They were the newer
Mm.
version, but I had a pair of the Skechers Afterburners that went to 2 or 3 SHOT shows, and all the shows in
Yep.
between, right?
Yep.
And
Sure.
so they lasted forever, and I was wearing them every day on top of that, or just about every day. And so, they just don't wear out. At least that particular one, the Afterburner anyway, didn't. Now these that I've got, I can't even remember what these are. They're the ultra lightweight. Maybe they're called the
Yeah.
Solos. I can't remember the red ones that I picked up. But again, they're not going to get that much wear, so not worried about them too much.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't even know which ones they are. The Skechers that I have. They're the brown, kind of like the. I don't know. I don't know. If you've been around me at shot and all that, you know the Skechers that I wear.
Very similar to the Afterburners that I
Yeah, they're
wear.
very. I just don't know the
They
actual
are, but
name of them. I could
yeah.
probably look at that box over there, but I'm too lazy to do
I'm not
that. But
into it. Yeah, I'm not into it enough, right? So it's like, well, who knows?
yeah, so
Um,
I've had those since 2018 or 19, and they still run. Like I said, I've got another pair just sitting in the box ready to go.
yeah.
For me, my favorite, I've kind of got like three pairs of shoes that if I look back and say those defined like me, you know.
Hmm.
Obviously, I wear a lot of Chuck Taylors. I wear a lot of Vans, but like as far as like the athletic shoes, I remember my two favorite Jordan series. Obviously, everyone loves a Jordan 1. Okay, that's just classic, right? But the two Jordans that I remember wearing the most for basketball and all of that were the Jordan 3s and the Jordan 4s. Loved them. But my favorite pair of like basketball shoes, if they still made them, I'd wear them today, even though I'm retired from playing ball. Or the old Tim Hardaway Nike Air Raids.
Hmm.
And if you remember those, they were like the black ones that had like the gray straps that really didn't do anything. Maybe you could put your
Right.
shoelaces in them or something, tuck them
Right.
in or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were, for me, those were the ones that I remember playing. I probably had 4 or 5 of those because I'd go through them. We would play so much and all that. And I love those things. Those, for me, the air raids were probably like the shoes that the one pair of shoes from like high school and all of that, that if they still made them, like I'd buy 10 of them right now just to have them. Now they are out there. All of these shoes we're talking about, you can go find them on eBay, and sometimes you can find them brand new. They haven't been worn in the box, but they're like $300-400. Like, no thanks, you know.
Yeah, I was, that's one thing about new shoes. Honestly, I was surprised when I kind of got back into it how reasonable they were.
Yeah.
And I don't know if at the time $150 just seemed like a whole lot of money.
Well,
And I'm
150
thinking about
bucks
it from
back
that.
then is
Yeah.
is probably 300 now, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at some killer nice shoes. I mean, like the
Yeah.
Curry Northern Lights and stuff we're talking about at 130 to $150. Some really nice shoes, and it's
Yeah.
just it. I don't remember them being accounting for inflation and everything else, right? I don't remember being able to get anything that cool that cheap back then. So where I get with the vintage, you can pay thousands of dollars for a pair of shoes easily. If you're talking about a collectible or a vintage pair of shoes, you can get some nice looking shoes, right? If you're just concerned with something looking nice.
Yeah, you look at now what a lot of people are doing, and you go get like $100 pair of all white like Nike Air Force Ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then people like make art out of them, and they do something that are phenomenal. And you're spending $1,200 to $2,000 on a pair of Nike Air Force Ones, but they've been done, custom art and all that. People have done some amazing arts on shoes, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I think that now, I remember when the Jordan Air Jordan 1s, whatever, they came out. I think they were the first shoe to break that $100 barrier, right? And I remember just parents were outraged because everyone wanted them. And now you're talking about $100 for a pair of shoes and all that.
Right.
And now, like, that's the starting point now. I mean, if you see a pair of shoes under $100, they're probably on sale or something like that. At least they're around. Everything's like around that $85 to $100 now, just stock.
Right. So that 15 minutes is up, just so you know.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right.
So we're gonna shift it. We're gonna talk a little bit about our friends at EAA because we've got a lot of experience with them, and thanks to them for helping to power the podcast. Thanks to them. I seen Chase, I think, out there in the live chat earlier.
Yes.
Thanks for being good friends, man, and it's that means a lot too. But yeah, I mean, good Lord, I mean, for a while now, I've had the EAA stuff. I mean, Gerson that they're importing. Gerson is crushing it, obviously. I'll talk a little bit about old school, and I'll let you talk about the new school, right? But, as far as old school, that Gerson Regard, I mean, if you're looking for a Beretta 92 copy, I mean, you're talking about a much beefier, even better. And I'm a Beretta fan. And it pains me to say in some way that that Gerson Regard is just better. I mean, if you get the right one, if you get the Gen 4, one of the more moderns. Now that the Gerson Regard MC, I don't got a whole lot of experience with. I can't talk about that, but the Gen 4 for sure. I mean, it does stomp on the Berettas a little bit, unfortunately. And then that Gerson MC 312 shotgun. I mean, again, you talk about, ticking off the Italians, man. Gerson's doing it because they're whooping on Benelli with that thing. I mean, if you want a Benelli action in something that's much more affordable and a sweet recoiling, sweet shooting shotgun, that MC312 is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and I came late to the party, unless to the Gerson, only in the last year and a half. Got a buddy out there, Tactical FUD out there, Buck. Buck was the one who initially introduced me to Gerson, and shot his and all that, and really enjoyed it. Heard you talking about the Regard, but yeah, people know I haven't really been 1911 huge fanboys. Always respect them, liked them, just and then about a year and a half ago, I started kind of getting into 1911s a little bit, and then I picked up a couple of the Gersons. I've got the little 9mm. SC Ultimate, and it's one of those kind of like the concealed carry 9mm 1911, if you will. If you want to call it, if you're not familiar, the best way I can describe what you call like a snub nose 1911, if you will. It's kind of one of those ideas if you got it. And then obviously you got the
compact version,
the compact, the subcompact. It's called the SC. It's a subcompact, kind of like the I don't know. Would be the detective or would be the officer? I forget which one it would be.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the 1911.
How
they go.
Same way.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got the new 10mm that we got, and that's the carry version of the 1911 and 10mm. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Now Chase, speaking of Chase, said, "Stay tuned for the Clover signature flintlock blunderbuss." This is true.
I'm all about that.
Man. Yeah, I bet you would be.
We need to be getting some more shotgun stuff in. That's cool for sure.
I don't agree. I think that's a terrible idea.
You don't have
to. I'm waiting for the Gerson AR. I'm just saying.
Might as well.
I will say with the 2311 that they've got out now is unreal. Shot it at range day. It is phenomenal. Multiple calibers, man. It's great.
Even the shorter barrel ones, man. Like,
man, I love the shorter barrel one.
The 6 inch is awesome.
But I'm used to shorter barrels.
But yeah, this is true. But yeah, the compact one is really cool. And what's cool about the 2311s is, yeah, 9, 10, and 45. So
45,
you
yeah.
know you're
Sorry,
not
all the 40 lovers out there.
right.
Sorry, you got
Yeah,
to go to a real caliber.
but you're not pigeonholed into that 9 millimeter or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah, they're great.
you're up, man. 15 minutes.
I
What do you got?
know, right? So, you guys know that I have a lot of different passions in life, and one of them is music. So, I wanted to kind of talk about like favorite bands, and the reason why I thought that is because you and I are both one of these people that
Almost
have
went that
very,
route.
yeah,
I
you
was gonna
know,
go guitar riffs, but yeah.
well, I would have loved that too. We can do that later on, but we both have very eclectic taste in music. My playlists literally go from like Tupac to like Bocelli. Like seriously, it's really weird. But obviously, we have our favorite bands of all time and all that. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit, like if you could give me your top three like bands, like not singers. Let's go bands tonight. So what are your if you could list your top three bands, what would they be?
Man, top 3 bands. Across all genres.
Yeah, across all genres, absolutely.
Alabama's in that list without a doubt.
Uh-huh, yeah, you
That's
man.
that's that's easy to put in the top 3. Alabama.
Hmm.
Um, man, it's tough. Um, I'm gonna go Alabama. I'm gonna go Zeppelin's up there.
Okay, all right.
I'm a pretty big Zeppelin fan. And hmm, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Guns N' Roses.
Oh, interesting. Love them.
Mm,
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, honestly, from you, I was expecting maybe some AC/DC or Queen
you
because I know
know,
that and also Chili
oh
Peppers. I know that you're a
yeah,
Chili
no, no,
Peppers
no.
fan.
So I'm kicking Led Zeppelin and putting Queen in. Thank you for that. I can't believe I wasn't thinking
Is
Queen.
it
That's the
sad
problem.
that I
That's
know
the
your shit
problem.
more than you
I
do?
know that's the problem though, and that's what's gonna make this so fun is being on the spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I am a huge Queen fan. Well, how did I forget? I need to be chastised for that. What is that? Steven Crowder's got the
Yes.
admonishment button.
The admonishment
I
button,
need to be
yes.
admonished for that. So yeah, Zeppelin's out, Queen's in. So I'm going to go Queen, GNR, and Alabama. Mainly because I've got to cross some genres for sure. Queen, as far as as far as just listening to music cover to cover to cover,
Yeah.
those three, they're worthy of the top three for sure. Zeppelin, I don't know that Zeppelin makes the cover to cover to cover theory, but Queen,
Yeah.
Alabama, and Guns N' Roses definitely does it. It doesn't matter what it is, I'll listen to it.
That's kind
Even
of my
Chinese
thing.
Democracy, yes,
No, I
yes, even
understand.
Chinese
I
Democracy.
understand. I understand. Even what was that? The spaghetti, whatever it was that Guns had.
Yeah,
Oh, that
yeah,
was terrible, but it was
yeah,
good. It was
yeah,
still good.
yeah. Still Slash on guitar.
Still Slash, yeah. For me, I my bands like it's so crazy. I don't remember listening to much in the last 20. Like I don't like new music. I'm an old soul when it comes to music. My favorite band of all time, man, it's close, but I would still say my favorite band of all time is the Beatles. That's the Beatles were who I was introduced. There were two bands that I was introduced to music to by my dad. My dad was a huge music guy. So two of these, I'm not going to go in order except for the Beatles, but uh, the second one that I got introduced to music was the Beach Boys. So the Beatles and the Beach Boys, I just remember growing up and always, listening to the Beatles and the Beach Boys. So I love them both. They're definitely two in the top three. My other one's Pink Floyd. And honestly, to be honest with you, I think I listen to a lot more Pink Floyd than I do the Beatles. So if I probably had to say my favorite band, it'd probably be Pink Floyd. But I always say the Beatles just because the Beatles
So
were that was my first memory of music. You know what I'm saying?
so favorite track of all three,
Oh, snap. Before we do
or
that, real
for all
quick.
three, or for
Yeah,
all three.
mandatory carry up there. $5 super chat. Appreciate you very much. He said, I'll call the girls. There you go. Okay, so let's do this for the Beatles. Um, so I'm a huge John Lennon fan. Like like John Lennon is one of my idols and heroes, and I love John Lennon. But my favorite Beatles song is "Here Come the Sun" by George Harrison. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's
He was
just
a great
great.
songwriter.
He really
Great
was. And here's a bad
songwriter.
thing: when you're a great songwriter, but you happen to be in the same band with Lennon and McCartney, like you're kind of screwed, right? I mean, you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But my favorite Beatles song is "Here Comes the Sun." My favorite Beach Boys song is probably "God Only Knows," which I think is maybe one of the greatest songs ever written. Like it's the top 5 of my favorite greatest songs ever written. And Pink Floyd, probably "Time" is my favorite all-time Pink Floyd song. I love "Time." I was actually just listening to it earlier, and my wife's like, "Oh my god!" It's just, my mix is kind of always playing it in the background, and a lot of it's But "Time's probably my favorite Pink Floyd song of all time. So, what about yours? So you've got, to refresh, you've got Guns.
Let me play on yours first.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Beatles, "Hey Jude."
Okay, can't go. You can't go wrong with any of the songs. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is just personal, I think these are my favorites. I'd probably listen to any of them, or I do listen to any of them. What am I saying?
Sure.
So yeah, "Hey Jude" on the Beatles. Beach Boys, "Little Deuce Coupe."
Little Deuce Coupe, I love it. So you're a Mike Love fan who did a lot of car music, didn't you?
Yeah.
There you go. You're more the car Beach Boys.
Yeah. I am.
I'm more of the beach songs.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways,
and then
Brian
Floyd,
Wilson songs. Yeah.
And then Floyd, "Wish You Were Here."
So that is once. So it's so interesting because that's one of my favorite all-time songs. As a matter of fact, it's one of my top 5, I think, of greatest songs. But I like listening to "Time" more, maybe because of the guitar. I mean, David Gilmour is hands down my favorite guitar player. My top 3 guitar players: David Gilmour, Slash, and Tom Morello. I love listening to. "Wish You Were Here" is a top 5 song of all time. But I like listening to "Time" more, maybe because I just outplayed "Wish You Were Here" for so long in my life. I started listening to Pink Floyd when I was like 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah.
And so it was just "Comfortably Numb," "Us and Them," "Wish You Were Here." Those 3 just played over and over and over and over. And "Time," I really come to appreciate "Time" a lot.
Oh yeah.
Now to refresh, I agree, Snob, that "Wish You Were Here" is Floyd's best song, is their best song. But right now, if I had to choose one right now, "Time" is my favorite song. Doesn't mean it's the best song, but it's my favorite song right now. Yeah. So to refresh, you've got Queen, Alabama, and Guns N' Roses in no particular order.
Yeah. Queen at the top. Queen's number 1.
Okay, all right. So Queen is number 1.
Yeah, can't believe I forgot that. Yeah.
So let's start with Queen then. Your favorite song from Queen?
"Don't Stop Me Now."
Oh snap! Nice one. One.
Yeah. But I mean, most people would probably say "Bohemian Rhapsody" just because of the airplay.
I mean, it's probably their most famous song. Yeah,
it's awesome. I'm gonna sing along with it. Yeah, without a doubt. But I like. I don't know. It's just something about "Don't Stop Me Now." I just, it's cool. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah.
Alabama, "She and I."
Nice one.
I like that one. And then GNR, "November Rain," hands down.
Oh,
video,
you meter freaker.
Video, the song, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. For me, we'll go Queen. I'm gonna say "This Thing Called Love." I remember that was my first Queen song that I remember like asking my dad, like, wow, like this is pretty awesome,
Yeah.
It was a little different sound than what you had typically heard from Queen, especially at the time.
But they changed their sound
so
much.
Did.
That's what's cool about Queen. Is like,
when you've got Freddie Mercury singing, you can really do what the hell you want.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But so that or "Crazy Little Thing of Love." Great one. That's actually the same song, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's a great one. Who's next was Alabama. Okay, so this is so strange. I'm gonna say my favorite song is "My Home Is in Alabama." Love that song. I will say this, that as far as country songs go, I think that Dixieland Delight is a top 5 all-time country song. That's
It's a
just
good one.
me.
It's a good one.
Dixieland Delight was what brought me to country music. I hated country music until I was like 14. I was dating this girl who loved country music, and I hated it. I was not that guy. Grew up in Dallas and in Texas. I did not like country music, and she had in her room one night we were hanging out, and she had Dixieland Delight on. I was like, "What is this?" This is called Dixieland Delight. That whole tape or CD is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that
There's so
song
much good
is what I
stuff.
started listening to country music was because of Dixieland Delight.
Yeah.
But my favorite is My Home's in Alabama.
Yeah, there's just so much good stuff. If you're going to go with a state song from Alabama, I go Tennessee River.
Ooh, Tennessee River's a good one. And a Mountain Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Learning to Fly, GUS is Comfortably Numb, Learning to Fly, The Dogs of War. There's so much more. Like Shine on You Crazy Diamond, like phenomenal song. Like, I mean, people talk about David Gilmour has the greatest guitar solo ever, and it's in Comfortably Numb. I agree with that. But the guitar playing he has on Shine on You Crazy Diamond is unbelievable. I mean, it's truly unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we got Alabama. We've got Queen. We already did. So GNR, hands down, favorite song is November Rain.
Right.
Not even close.
Yeah.
The distant second is a song that changed music for me, and I think changed music in America with Sweet Child of Mine. Because at the time, Sweet Child of Mine came out when Appetite for Destruction came out. It is, but people it was actually alive back then when it came out. We were coming off of several years of hair bubblegum rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against the Motley Crues and the Poisons of the world and Firehouse and all of them and Cinderella and all of them. No offense to them, but it is what it is. And then all of a sudden, not saying that Axl wasn't having big hair and wearing makeup, but you heard that guitar riff, and it may not be the greatest guitar riff ever, but no matter how old you are, you hear Sweet Child of Mine start, everyone in the world knows what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, without a doubt. It's one of the first things that anybody that picks up a guitar starts trying to pick out, it seems like, one that I don't disagree with you, but since we both kind of landed on the same one there, I'll throw another one out that is the epitome in my mind of stadium rock. And it's one of my favorite. It's in the top 3, I would say, of GNR for me is Paradise City. And you talk about the guitar, the drums, just the music for Paradise City. The lyrics, I'm not a huge, but at stadium rock, are you really hearing the lyrics?
No.
Right in the stadium. So but if you've ever heard Paradise City, especially in a stadium, it's pretty awesome if you crank it up on the radio. But if you're hearing it in a stadium, man, it's an amazing
it really is. I tell you a couple songs. Patience was great because it was the first time you actually heard like the slow. But there are 2 songs on Use Your Illusion that I
on the video with the snake and the it was kind of creepy, but
the couple songs on Use Your Illusion that I loved that were not the huge hits. Yesterdays and Civil War. Either one of those come on, I'm definitely not changing the channel if either one of those come on. Civil War's great. Yesterday was great. I tell you what, their version of Knock on Heaven's Door, like
phenomenal.
even Bob Dylan has said that that's the best version that's ever been done.
Yep.
And when Dylan kind of crowns you, you know you've done something,
Yep.
And they covered Live and Let Die from Paul McCartney, and they did a great job of Live and Let Die.
Yeah, on the that was on the Use Your Illusions and Illusions 2.
I'm not sure which one was the red or the blue. I'm not sure which one was one, which one was 2.
Yeah, they did a lot of covers. They did several covers in that.
But
I would agree with Civil War. Civil War is up there. Civil War might crack my top 3, as a matter of fact. But Patience, God, man, Patience is pretty killer. But if you talk about a slower song, Patience versus November Rain, there's no contest. There's just no contest. November Rain just crushes it.
November Rain was that song that So here, let me ask you this, because we got a couple minutes left, about a minute or two left. Had November Rain come out and MTV wasn't prominent, I don't think that song is as big because the video was just as good as the song. The song's phenomenal, but the video was just as good as the song. You know, it had this wedding, this dark wedding.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think it is. I think it is. I think it could be even more popular without the video. And here's the reason why. First of all, phenomenal in its own right without the video because of the 2 slash solos, right? Like, I mean, 1 slash solo makes a GNR hit. 2 slash solos makes a GNR track iconic, right?
Absolutely.
Period. Right there. But you take the video element away. How many weddings did not play November Rain because of the video? Yep. They were like, "Oh, that video." Spoiler alert.
You're right.
The video's sad.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It doesn't end well.
Right. So, like, how many? If that hadn't have been the case, right? How many people would have gotten the lyrics misunderstood? Whatever the case may be, we know that happens all the time with music, right? And done it at their wedding anyway. So, in a way, the video may have held it back from being more popular in that sense, as far as being used in other things.
To close this topic out, speaking of Axl, and I'm one of the people that I'm in the camp that I think that Axl has a beautiful voice. Like, I loved Axl's voice. I know it's weird, but I thought he had a beautiful voice until I saw a couple months ago, he played at Lisa Marie Presley's funeral, and he played November Rain, and it was atrocious. Like, he's lost his voice, and I get it. I get it.
Older, and you get in a lot of.
But you don't want to see, like, you know, just don't play it. Don't sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just say no.
I'm surprised that speaking of losing voice.
Gee whiz, I didn't even get married because of the video and lyrics. There you go. That's the reason. There we go.
There you go. But yeah, I know we got to get out here and switch gears. But Rod Stewart, when we talk about voices, Rod Stewart would lock himself in a room and scream. Is how basically he got the voice he got.
Absolutely.
Great, and then allow himself time to heal. And so somebody that does that, it's crazy that Rod Stewart lasted as long as he did. Right.
Absolutely.
So anyway, moving on.
All right, it actually worked out exactly at the 43-minute mark. So we got a couple minutes to get the last one in. This is where we're going to go with the random topic. So what we're going to do is Clover is going to bring up the random name selector. And like I said, if you've been out there and you've been commenting in the chat, then that has given you the entry into this. So we're going to draw that name, and then that person,
41.
That person under like certain criteria, where there's a couple places we'll never go, but you'll get to choose the topic for the next 10 minutes or so. So go ahead. Let's do this.
And as vague or as specific, I guess, as you.
This is true. This is true.
There is 41 entries. I don't think we have any of that listening live, so we're not going to give you much time to chime in. For future reference, if you are out there live, make sure that you scroll over the screen and you've got the little red live button. If you don't, click that to check that, because if your internet slows or whatever happens, you may not be live. And
now Snob might have just won the internet. The truest statement ever. He says, "You better hope it doesn't pick Chase."
Right. Oh, Chase will give us a good one.
I'm afraid of that.
I can guarantee you. He'll give us a good one. So let's do this. We got
do
40. We got 41. That is plenty enough to spin. Let's see what.
Obviously, if it lands on one of us, we'll spin it.
Now, Sarge is asking, how do you enter? You just did. All you have to do is comment. So.
Oh, crap. Here we go. This could be interesting.
DJ Play Nice. DJ's out there.
This might be music related. You know, this very well could be music related.
It can be whatever he wants to
That's
throw
right.
out. So throw out the topic, GJ. We know you're out there because
we know you're. Yes, you just said something not too long ago. So go ahead and give us a topic for the next 10 minutes or so.
I'll go ahead and pull the screen down. We'll flip it back up if we have to, if he's slow, but hopefully he won't be. Hopefully he'll get.
Well, he just made a comment a couple minutes ago, so I know he's been out there very recently. So maybe he's thinking of how to stump the goobs, the goobers.
Right.
He might try to stump us and let us talk about something that we know nothing about, which is kind of fun, you know.
I just hope he words it in a manner in which we can read it. DJ likes to use big words that nobody can understand.
I need crayons and I need picture books, guys. I need
give us
picture books.
Simple language. Maybe he's not out there. I haven't seen him chime in.
Well, he hasn't he hadn't said anything, which is interesting. He might have come in and said hello and then gotten the hell out of here, which I get it.
What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this up again.
Pull this up. We're gonna give you about 15 more seconds, and if he doesn't say anything, then we will.
There he is.
He said we. Maybe
you better hurry up.
Live. He's not live apparently.
Yeah, we can't comment, DJ, on we. Maybe some.
No, I can comment on Wii because I know that some people get injured playing Wii, hockey and other sports.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah,
if you don't hurry up, that's what we're going to talk about. I guess is Wii. Well, that ain't been around. That's a old relic of a video game at this point. But man, the shooting games are fun on it. I will say that.
I've never played the shooting games on Wii. I haven't played Wii very much. I play like Wii Tennis and stuff like that. That's kind of fun. Rolling Stones versus Led Zeppelin. Okay, all right. I'm going to take the Rolling Stones side because I'm not a huge Zeppelin guy.
I go Zeppelin.
I know that you are, so you're going to go Zeppelin. You know,
I go Zeppelin. Yeah, I go Zeppelin.
So let's start out by doing this. Each of us will pick in our minds the best song from each band.
Right.
I'm going to say for the Rolling Stones. I see a red door and I think it's called Black.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite Stone song. Zeppelin, Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I know they spelled it weird, but people don't realize that's actually how you say it. It's supposed to say is Jamaica. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to go. It's like Dire Maker is how they spelled it, but if you say it the way they're supposed to, it's actually supposed to say Jamaica.
Right.
So I would say those two. For me, I'm not a huge Zeppelin. I mean, I know people are going to say, "Oh my gosh, how can you not say Stairway and all that?" I'm not a huge Zeppelin guy. I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Paint It Black for Stones and Jamaica or Dire Maker, however people want to call it, for Zeppelin. What about you?
Zeppelin, probably go Black Dog.
Okay, that's a good one. I actually like that song.
Stones. Man, there's a few.
You see that? You see Sarge? That's a pretty funny one. How about the F-16 versus Chinese Zeppelin?
There you go. That's a good one. F-16 all day. With the Stones, probably Honky Tonk Woman.
That's a good one. Yeah, sure.
Probably Honky Tonk Woman, maybe. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
So that's
what Gary said.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, for me, I'm not huge fans of either one. I respect them. I mean, I like some of their songs.
It's hard to deny the longevity of the Stones.
Well, the longevity of the Stones. I'll even say this: even both bands. You're talking about the influence.
Oh yeah.
The influence of both of those bands had. You talk to any basic hard rock or rock and roll band in the last 20 years on who their influences was. Zeppelin's there, and maybe even the Stones are probably, both those bands are probably major influences on the top rock bands out there. So
yeah,
Kashmir. Kashmir. I forgot about Kashmir. That's a great song.
Up there. Yeah,
that's a great song. I forgot about that. That's a great one. Yeah.
Yep. And I almost went Kashmir, and I'm like, I like Black Dog better.
Yeah. No, Black Dog's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with Stones versus Zeppelin, I think honestly for a person that comes down, I think if you like the heavier side, if you're more of a metal fan, you probably come down and chime in the live chat. Be interested to know this. If you're more of a metal fan, I think you might come down more on Zeppelin than the Stones, right? Where if you're more of a traditional rock, then it's more of the softer side, then you're probably more of a Stones person, I think.
And ironically, I think the Stones kind of fit that weird peg because when they first came out, either you were a Stones guy or a Beatles guy. And here's the thing. the people that like the harder rock, like you said, between the Stones and Zeppelin, they pick Zeppelin. Well, in that case, the harder rock people pick the Stones over the
Right,
Beatles,
right. Yeah,
So go
yeah,
figure,
yep. It was a
um,
progression, yeah, without a doubt.
for sure. The greatest thing I ever heard about the Stones um, is "Can't Get No Satisfaction" was written in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Da,
phenomenal.
da, 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 da,
Talking
da,
about
da,
your
da.
guitar riffs, that's got to be a top 10 guitar riff,
It does, but then you sit and you try to think of other guitar riffs from the Stones, and there's not near as many as Zeppelin.
Yeah. No, I'm just
So
you're talking about, like, you might do a topic
music,
one time on guitar riffs. Can't Get No is one of the most recognized guitar riffs. Maybe it's not the
yeah,
best one, but it's recognized.
yeah. I think lyrically, and it's just my argument for Zeppelin.
Sure. Yeah.
I think lyrically, I think Zeppelin takes the edge, right? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think musically, Zeppelin takes the edge as far as the elements, right? As far as
Yeah.
guitar, drum, the music itself. Um, Execution. I mean, there's some other things. I mean, whether or not you do it live, the quality of
I think
studio
probably you have to
albums.
go live with freaking Stones, because
I think Stones were more more mainstream
yeah.
acceptable than Zeppelin, and I think
Yeah.
that really did help them out. They were a little cleaner look and vibe than Zeppelin, and I think that helped them out. That definitely
I
that definitely went over well with the Beatles. We know that.
Oh yeah, I hear people. I've never been to this. I've probably been to like literally hundreds of concerts in my life, and I love going to concerts. Never went to a Stones concert, but everyone that I know that did have always said they put on a great show, even if they're not Stones fans. Like, people go to their shows because Jagger is so Jagger.
Mhm.
I think the show is what makes the Stones who they are. Absolutely, I would agree with you. Musically, lyrically. Ironically, here's the thing about the Stones. When Jimmy Page started, I mean, the Zeppelin, when Jimmy Page started Zeppelin, do you know why he picked, um, oh crap, what's his name? The singer. Holy hell, my mind went numb. I have no idea. Anyways, Jimmy Page was looking to find a singer to be his version of Roger Daltrey from The Who. And he found the blonde lead singer that can blow. Zeppelin
Oh, it took
musically,
me a minute. I was playing in the chat. You're talking about
Robert
Robert Plant.
Plant, Robert Plant,
Yeah,
yeah,
Robert Plant.
golly, yeah.
I'm
As
sorry.
long as you
Yeah.
start talking, yeah.
Oh,
For
I
some
wasn't paying
reason, I was
attention.
like, "What the hell?" But
Yeah.
Robert Plant was Jimmy Page's version of Roger Daltrey from The Who. He wanted the blonde
Mhm.
front man.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page, phenomenal guitar player. Musically, 100%. Lyrically, 100%. Um, I think where the Stones come into play is the show, and I think that's
Mhm.
why they're
Well, I
80
said
damn years
mainstream,
old.
right?
Yeah,
Zeppelin
yeah,
was
absolutely.
darker. Zeppelin had a heavier, more. Hey, the people that go watch Zeppelin are dropping
Yeah,
acid and crazy. Like, and we're like, well, if you're watching the Stones, you're probably lighting up a doobie, type thing. Like,
I'm good
they
with
just
that. Oh, I didn't say
they
that loud,
seemed
did I?
they seemed harder and rougher. You know what I mean?
No, no,
And
I hear you.
so I just don't think they got the appreciation in their time. Like nowadays, if both come out nowadays, like nobody would care of the Zeppelin thing. It'd be like, okay, okay, cool. Look at they not weird, for modern times or anything. After
Yeah,
we went through the hair bands and thrash metal and all the stuff we've been through, like it's not crazy, but in their
yeah,
time, they were
100%.
out there a little bit.
Now Chase says the Who and the Doors were so much for the Stones. I agree 100%. I'm a
See,
big
I
Who fan.
just
I love
don't.
the Doors.
I am not a Doors fan. I
Oh,
am
really?
not a Doors
Yeah.
fan. I will push skip
I did a lot of
most of the
drugs
time if it
growing up,
comes
so
across the
that's probably why I enjoyed
if
Pink
it,
Floyd so much. I did a
it
lot of drugs, and
I'm
Jim
okay with the
Morrison
Who.
was good.
Like I'm
Yeah,
okay with the Who, but
yeah.
something about the I just
I will say this:
too
if
much
you ever
organ.
get, I know
I
you
just
have.
can't
I'm
handle it.
sure I know you have. But if you're out there and you want to see something that's just truly remarkable, go on YouTube when this is over. Not now, but when this is over, go on YouTube and just search "Stairway to Heaven" Heart. And
Oh,
with
we talking about
The Kennedy
like
Center
oh,
honored
yeah.
Led Zeppelin, and to finish up the show, they brought Nancy and Mary Hart, you know, Nancy Wilson from Heart introduced Stairway to Heaven. And if you've never heard that version, it very well could be one of the greatest covers of any song ever done in the history of music. It was phenomenal. So go treat yourself to listen to Nancy and Mary Wilson doing Stairway to Heaven.
Not Mary.
And what did I say? Mary Wilson? Mary Wilson was like a singer back in the 50s. Yeah, Ann and Nancy Wilson. Mary Wilson sang My Guy.
You're thinking like the Mamas and the Papas, I think. Maybe.
No, Mary Wilson was My Guy back in like the 50s. Like, I don't know why I thought of her, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, go treat yourself. Ann and Nancy Wilson from Heart. Go treat yourself. It's amazing. That's brought us up to the last 4 minutes. Take us home there, CloverTac.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We got 4 minutes. Wow, what to say in the next 4 minutes? Hopefully, everybody out there has enjoyed the format. I mean, one thing I noticed, because we got 4 minutes, we can map a little bit. And
Absolutely.
This is the first official episode. But one thing I noticed, and I don't know if anybody out there in the live chat noticed or if it was a big deal. I was definitely seeing the chat and reading what you guys were saying.
Yep.
So let me say that I appreciate all of the comments and the conversation going out there for sure.
It's awesome.
We were paying attention and watching them. We didn't acknowledge nearly as many as probably I would like to do, but the idea is to get through these topics,
and try to make this an hour-long podcast, as close to an hour as we can.
We don't want to go for 4 or 5 hours or something like that. But be aware we are reading them, and if it's anything that is pressing or really catches our attention, we'll definitely acknowledge it and throw it up. Also, keep in mind, if you're in the replay world out there, you can participate in the comments, anywhere below that you, of course, need to participate. And remember that if you do participate out there in the live chat, that is thanks to Sarge for bringing that up. How do you get in on possibly being selected to pick the random topic? And all you have to do is make a comment, and you're in on that. It's that simple. So you don't have to answer a question or type a certain word. You can reply to somebody out there, or carry on your own conversation, or have an argument in the chat, a friendly, civil argument over
right.
The Who or the Doors, or Zeppelin or the Stones, or whoever whatever you want to do. Nike versus Reebok, whatever. Go for it out there. That's what it's all about. It's having fun. So as we're closing down, I'll bring Ghost in just for a quick second, because we do have our own projects, and anybody that has seen Ghost and Clovers before understands that, but there may be people listening new that have landed on this because it was something different, and that's one of the reasons we want to do it. Yeah, we'll talk about guns at times, firearms and outdoor related stuff and other things, but we gun people, firearm owners are interested in a lot of other stuff as well, and so maybe this kind of breaks through that barrier a little bit with some folks that I'm interested in firearms. I'm not really comfortable yet, but then they see that we're just regular people that love regular things, and who knows? I mean, maybe they listen to one of these and go buy them an EAA. You never know, a Gerson or something. Who knows? So, but what projects have you got coming, Ghost?
Well, before I go into my stuff, this is an incredibly important question. And I know it's going to be like choosing like one of your favorite kids, but Chase out there says, my 6-year-old really wants to know your favorite Lucky Charms marshmallow shape. So,
dude, I really dig the horseshoes.
Oh, snap. Okay.
The purple horseshoes. They're purple. How could you go wrong with purple?
That's right.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Purple Rain. One of my great.
Grape's my favorite color, man. Especially for crayons.
Speaking music, Purple Rain, one of my favorite songs of all time. So, Purple Horseshoes, man. That's an easy one. It wasn't difficult.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I get it. I love Lucky Charms, but I haven't really paid attention to the shapes. I just eat them. So, I will say for my favorite crayon is grape for sure. Grape's my favorite color of crayon, so I think we have that in common. But yeah. As far as our projects, you guys have noticed that I've taken a little hiatus coming back from SHOT. That was by design for a little bit to take a little break. I needed one. It's been a long year. We also had crazy ass weather the last 6 weeks. I've had 2 ice storms, had a flood of 10 inches, one of 4.5 inches. Weather's been weird. But starting back this week, we're getting back. I said I want to get back into March and all of that. So, actually, speaking of EAA, you'll see this weekend. You'll see our initial video with a 10mm Carry 1911. Phenomenal little gun. Great gun. Just a blast to shoot. So that'll be coming out this Saturday. So be on the look for that. We've also got our Speed Limit 155 channel. If you guys are into cars, we started a car channel not too long ago, and I've had a few podcasts. Clover's been on one of them, maybe a couple of them. Chase was on this past Friday with us. We just talk cars. So if you like cars and all that, we do podcasts and done some videos and all that stuff. Go check out the Speed Limit 155. I do have on the Ghost Tactical channel some. I've got so much crap that I got to get done. My hiatus kind of has screwed me because now I've got like 11 different things I got to do reviews on here pretty quickly. So I'm going to be busy for sure trying to play catch up. But I've also got a new series coming out, and it's going to be on the channel. It's going to be a cooking series on the Ghost Tactical. I'm calling it the Tactical Chef. You guys are going to enjoy it. It's a four video series where we've ordered 4 random MREs from Amazon, and we have to create a meal utilizing the ingredients of each individual MRE. It'd be kind of fun. That'll start coming out here pretty soon. So if you like cooking, and we won't be using normal like knives, and I've got a bunch of expensive cooking knives that I use, but I'm using K-bars and machetes and survival knives are the tools. So it'll be a fun, interesting thing to do, and we'll talk guns while we're cooking as well. So that's what I've got. Thanks for coming on, guys, and watching. Thanks for everyone for that. It was a great conversation going on out there. Thanks for you guys that are watching in replay and listening to podcast form. Once again, let us know what you think in the comment section. Give us some ideas for topics. So we've got a list we've kind of created, but we're always looking for new ones. Remember, if you want your topic to be discussed, make sure you tune in to the live ones. And at that 45-minute mark or so, we'll throw out there that random topic chosen by the audience out there. So I had a great time. Chris, this was fun. I know we've been playing on this for a while. It's been a long time coming. It's been people don't know sometimes when you actually are planning a podcast, a lot goes into it. And it took us a few months to get everything done. But once again, thank you to EAA. But yeah, it's been fun. I hope you had as much fun as I did, bud.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I want to echo what you were saying about, stuff stacking up. I'm the same way. I've got all kinds of stuff stacked up that, I've got to get videos out on and other things, but I've been plagued by weather as you have. And then I also been plagued by some tech difficulties with
yes, you have
camera gear. I use phones, but we'll just say camera gear. So hopefully this week I can get that lined out and start cranking more of that out more quickly. Do have the podcast this week, Wednesday and Thursday. You got Hootie Hoo on Wednesday. Will be in the house.
He was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but
he was in here right when we first started. I seen him chime in, but I got a text from him earlier. I forgot what about, but something. But anyway, and then got Bursa on Thursday. Nice. So be looking for that stuff. Again, big shout out and thanks to, of course, EAA. Go check out all of their socials and everything else. Cool pictures and see if there's something you like.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys. We're getting some feedback out there. It looks like people had fun saying out there, good podcast, great show, and all that stuff. Chase did say that his 6-year-old daughter's favorite one is the Purple Horseshoe. So he's calling you guys a Purple Horseshoe Gang.
That is the correct answer.
So there you go. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Once again, thank you for supporting my channel and my projects. Obviously, thank you for supporting Clover and all of his projects, because he's got multiple channels. He's got a trading card called CloverTac Cards. He's getting ready to probably launch another one, because I know he's got something. I don't know if you want to bring it up or not. We got a few minutes. We can go a little bit later on the first one. You had some fun with getting a new toy in this week, didn't you?
I got finally got all the stuff from my 3D printer in Tuesday. So got to get it set up. I've got to learn some things, all of that. But there may be a new channel coming with that. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the live audience. It was wonderful. Like I said, conversation was great. This was fun. Had a blast. If you're watching this in replay, if you're listening to this in podcast, like I said, leave us a comment. Let you know what you think of the show. Anything that you think we should do differently, could you do it differently? definitely let us know. We're always up for people's help and all that. But thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Take care.